Hi, in today's session, we are going to discuss about filters in Linux. So what are filters? So filters are the commands that are used to extract the specific data from the standard input or from the text file. Sometimes filters are also used to perform certain transformation on the text file and print the result of that transformation onto the standard output. So in this chapter, we are going to discuss about some of the most commonly used filters in Linux, such as grep, head, tail, less, more, sort, unique, tr, cut, and paste. So let's see how these filters work. Now let us discuss about the grep filter. Grep stands for Global Regular Expression Print. This filter is actually used to print those lines in the file that matches a given search pattern. For example, if you have a large file which has about hundreds of lines, and if you are interested only in those lines in the file that matches a given search pattern, so grep filter can be used for that purpose. So we have several examples with respect to grep filter. So we will see one by one how these commands work. So for the purpose of practical demonstration, I have already created a file called data.txt, which has got some content in it. So let's see how grep filter can be used on this particular text file. So first of all, let us try to print those lines in the file that matches the pattern root. Now as you can see, it prints only those lines of that file that matches the pattern root. So if you have that word root in that line, so that line would be printed in the output. Suppose if I want to print only those lines in the file that matches the word root exactly, then we can use -w option. Now as you can see in this output, the word root user is not displayed here. The reason is when this command is executed, it looks for that word called root exactly. That means it searches for those lines in the file that matches the word root exactly. So that is why in this particular output you can see only two lines. Sometimes there may be certain scenarios where you want to search the pattern by ignoring the case of that pattern. So for that we have the option -I. So -I stands for ignore the case. So if you want to ignore the case of the pattern that you are searching, so you can give the command grep followed by -I followed by the search pattern followed by the file name. So as you can see in this output, if you have any word that matches the pattern, irrespective of whatever the case it might be, so those lines will be also printed. Sometimes you would be interested to know in how many lines the pattern root is occurring. So in such scenario, we are going to use the option -C. So it's going to give you the count of that lines that matches the pattern root. So as you can see from this output, it gives you the count 3. By comparing with the output of grep followed by the pattern and the file name, you can see that there are 3 lines in the file that has the pattern root. Please make a note here that it's not the total count of the pattern in the file, rather it is the number of lines in which the pattern is occurring in the file. Suppose if you want to print the line number in which that pattern is occurring, so for which we have another option called -n. So we can use grep-n followed by root, that is the pattern, followed by data.txt. So you can see along with the lines, we also have the line number in which that pattern is occurring. You can also use the combination of the different options that we have used so far. For example, if I want to get the count of the pattern root by ignoring its case, then we can use grep followed by the combination of options I and C followed by the pattern root followed by the name of the file. So as you can see from this output, there are 4 lines in the file that matches the pattern root. And we have to note here that we have used the combination of 2 options, that is I and C, that ignores the case of the pattern while counting them. Suppose if you want to invert your selection, which means if you want to print those lines of the file that doesn't match that pattern, then we can use grep followed by the option V followed by the root, which is the pattern, followed by data.txt. So as you can see, it prints all the lines of that file that do not match the pattern root. And remember, we haven't used the option -i. If you would have used it, then the word root would have not displayed in the output. Sometimes we would like to know the name of the files in which a particular pattern exists. So as of now, I have got a file called data.txt. So I'm going to create one more file called data1.txt. And I'm going to add one statement, welcome to Linux operating system. So to find out in which among these 2 files the pattern root exists, we can type the command grep-l followed by the option followed by the pattern root followed by the name of the file followed by data1.txt. So as you can see here, it prints the name of the file in which the pattern root exists. You can also use the wildcard character called star in the place of file names. Once again, it's going to display the name of the file in which the pattern exists. So as you can see here, it shows that desktop, documents, downloads, music is a directory, as grep cannot search within a directory for a particular pattern. Another important feature of the Linux filter is that Linux filters can be pipelined with the output of some other command. For example, I can execute cat file name pipe it with grep followed by the root. So this command works exactly the same way as we did in the previous case. But the only difference is that the output of this command would be sent as an input for the grep filter. So this syntax would be very much useful whenever we want to search for a pattern from the output of another command. So let us execute one more command ls-l. Now, as you can see here, this command displays the long listing of all the files and directories, which means it prints the permissions, the link count, the owner, the group owner, the size of the file, the modification timestamp, followed by the file name. Now, if suppose I want to print only the directories in this output, suppose if I want to list only the directories in this out from, suppose if I want to display only the directories from this output, so what I can do is the one way by which I can differentiate the directories from others is that the presence of the option D in the permission part. So what I am going to do is I'll be displaying those lines from this output that begins with the character D. So let's see how it is done. We can use ls followed by -l and grep it with cap D. This operator so let's see how it is done. We can use ls followed by -l followed by grep followed by a symbol called caret and D. So what this command does is it takes the output. The grep command takes the output of the ls-l. As you can see here, all the lines in this output, it begins with a character D. So in real time, if you want to search for any lines that starts with a specific character or a specific string, you can use this particular syntax. As another example, you can use cat followed by data.txt. So you can see here from this output, you can notice that this line is beginning with the pattern with. So whenever we want to print the lines that begins with a particular pattern, you can use this syntax.
Next, we are going to discuss about one of the filter in Linux that is called head filter. So a head filter is used to print the top few lines of a file. Suppose if you want to view only the top few lines of a file without going through the entire file, so you can use the head filter. By default, head filter is going to print the first 10 lines of the file. So in case if you want to view only the specific number of lines in the file, so you can use the syntax head followed by -n followed by the number of lines that you want to view followed by the name of the file. So let's see how this command works. So for demonstrating the head filter, I have two files here. One is called as the wordlist.txt and the other one is the logs.txt. So let's try to use the head filter on the file called logs.txt. Now from the output, we can see that it's going to print the first 10 lines from the file. Suppose if you want to print only the first 5 lines of the file, then you can use head-n followed by the number of lines, the name of the file. So it's going to print the first 5 lines from the file. Now, here we can use this filter along with the output of another filter as well. Now, for example, just to confirm whether it is going to print the first 5 lines or the first 10 lines of the file, we can use cat followed by -n followed by logs.txt followed by head. So now what happens here is when I use cat-n followed by logs.txt, it is going to give line numbers for each and every line of the file. And when I pipe this output with the head command, it is going to give you the top 10 lines of the file along with the line numbers. Suppose if I have not used this head filter, so you can see here, this command gives you the line number for each and every line of that file. And remember one thing, when I use cat-n, it is not going to permanently give the line number for the lines. It is just on the console that it shows the line number for each and every line of the file. Similarly, if the same command is used with head of -n followed by 5, it's going to show the top 5 lines of the file.
Next, we are going to discuss about the next filter that's called as the tail filter. So the tail filter is used to print the last few lines of a file. Suppose if you want to view the last few lines in a file without going through the entire document, then we can use the tail filter. Just like head filter, the tail filter is going to print the last 10 lines of the file by default. So the general syntax is the tail command followed by the name of the file. So this command would print the last 10 lines of the file. Suppose if you want to print only the specific number of lines from the file, then you can use the tail followed by -n followed by the line number. So how many lines that we want to view from the file, based on that we'll give the line number, and of course followed by the name of the file. So let's see how this command works. So once again, in this example, I'm going to consider the two files, that is logs.txt and wordlist.txt. Okay, so let's see how this command works. So the general syntax is tail followed by logs.txt. So you can see here, we can see that it's printing the last 10 lines from the file. So just like we did in the case of head filter, just for the sake of confirmation, we can use the cat command along, so that it is going to display the line numbers for each and every lines of that file. So I can use cat-n followed by logs.txt, so which of course prints the entire content with the line number. So with this, if I use the tail filter, so you can see here, it's printing the last 10 lines from the file. Suppose if you want to print only the specific number of lines from the file, you can use the tail command followed by the number of lines followed by the name of the file. So here it's going to print the last 5 lines from the file. Suppose if you want to view the last few characters of the file, so I can use tail-z followed by the number of characters followed by the name of the file. So here you can see that from the file it is printing the last 5 characters of the file. But one thing you need to understand here, that the 5th character, here you can see there are 4 characters here in the word bash, but the 5th character is the carriage return, so which is generally not seen in the output. We can also use the tail filter to print the lines from the multiple files. Tail followed by logs.txt followed by words. As you can see here, it is printing the last 10 from each of these files, and each file has been separated by the name of the file. So it prints the last 10 lines of the file called logs.txt, and it prints the last 10 lines of the file, that is words list.txt. Next, we are going to see another filter which is used for reading the content of the document line by line. So whenever this command is executed, it loads the first page of the document. Then if you want to view the remaining lines of the file, then we are going to use some special keys which is going to take you through the entire document. So let's see the syntax of this command. So the this command syntax is less followed by the file name. So let us see how this command works. So once again, I'm going to use the same file which we had used in the previous exercise. So you can see here, initially it loads the first page of the document. Suppose if I want to go through the remaining lines of this document, then I'm going to press the navigation key, which is down. Now this down navigation key is used for forward reading. Suppose if you want to read the document backwards, line by line, then I'm going to use up arrow. So the down arrow and the up arrow is used for navigating through the document. Suppose if you want to quit out of this reading mode, then we will be pressing Option Q. Similarly, another filter which is used for reading the document is the more filter. The difference between less and more filter is the less filter is used for reading the content of the document line by line, whereas more filter is used to read the content of the document page by page. So let's see the syntax of more filter. So it is more followed by the name of the file. So let us see how this command works. You can see here it has loaded the first page of the document. Suppose if I want to see the remaining pages of this document, then I'm going to press the space bar. So when I press the space bar, the remaining page of that document is loaded. More filter also offers the option to read the content of the document line by line. So it's more followed by logs.txt. Suppose if you want to read the content of the document line by line in more filter, so you can use the enter key. Suppose if you want to navigate backwards, you can use B. And once again, to quit out of the reading mode, we can use the option Q. The next filter we are going to discuss is the cut filter. The cut filter is used to extract a specific character or a field from each line of the file or from the standard input and print the extracted characters to the standard output. Suppose if you are interested on a specific field of a file which are organized in the form of a tabular format, then we will be using the cut filter to extract the specific field from the file. So let's see what is the syntax of cut filter. So as per the first syntax, we can use the cut followed by -c followed by 1 and followed by the name of the file. So as per this syntax, it is going to extract the first character from each line of the file. Suppose if you want to extract the first 5 characters from the file from each line, so we can use the range of values, that is -c followed by 1-5. Suppose if you want to extract based upon a specific field of the file, so in that case we have a different option. So cut followed by -d followed by the character which is called as the delimiter. So this -d is used to specify the delimiter in the file, and -f is to specify the field. So based on which field that we are interested, we can specify the field number and followed by the file name. So this syntax is generally used to extract a particular field from the file, and if each fields are separated by a delimiter such as a colon, then we can use this syntax. Suppose if I'm interested in the specific fields of the file, then I can use this particular syntax. So in this particular syntax, I'm extracting the first and the 7th field from the file /etc/password. And once again, if I'm interested the fields from 1 to 7 from the file /etc/password, then I can use this syntax. So let us see this in practical. So once again, for the purpose of practical demonstration, I'll be using the file called logs.txt. Let me show you the content of logs.txt. This file stores the details of all the user account present in the system. As you can see, each and every field of this file is being separated by colon. As an example, if you look at the details of the Linux user 1, you can see the details of this user has been separated by the colon. And these are the different details with respect to that particular user. We'll be discussing about these details later under user and group administration. Now let us see how to work on this particular file. Suppose if you want to extract the first character from each line of this file, I can use cut-c followed by 1 followed by the name of the file. So as you can see that it is extracting the first character from each line of the file. Suppose if I'm interested in range of characters, then I can use cut followed by -c followed by 1, 7 followed by logs.txt. As you can see, it extracts the first 7 characters from each and every line of this file. Sometimes, as we discussed earlier, we might be interested on the specific field of that file. So in that case, we are going to use a different syntax. So we are going to use cut followed by -d, which is used to specify the field delimiter or the field separator, followed by the delimiter within the double inverted comma, followed by -f option, followed by the field number, followed by the name of the file. So as you can see from this output, it has extracted the first field from each and every line of that file. Suppose if you want to extract the first and the 7th field of the file, then I can use the syntax cut -d followed by colon followed by -f to specify the fields, followed by the fields which I am interested in, that is first and the 7th, from the file logs.txt. So in this case, you can see it displays the first as well as the 7th field from the file. Suppose I am interested on range of fields starting from one particular range to another, so I can use 1 followed by hyphen followed by 5. So here 1 indicates the first field and 5 indicates the 5th field in the file. So when I execute this command, I get the first 5 fields from each and every line of this file. Sometimes we would be interested in printing from the first field till the specific field of the file. So in this case, we can use the cut followed by -d followed by delimiter followed by -f followed by -5 followed by the name of the file. So this syntax considers that in the place of field, so this syntax is going to display the fields from the first till the 5th field of the file. So whenever the first range is not mentioned, so it is going to consider the first range as the default range till the 5th range. So as you can see here, this command prints the output from the first field till the 5th field of the file. Suppose if I specify 2-5, then it is going to display from the 2nd field till the 5th field of the file. Similarly, whenever you want to print from the first field till the end of the file or from a specific field till the end of the field of the file, then we can use cut followed by -d followed by the delimiter followed by -f option followed by 2 hyphen followed by logs.txt. So what happens in this case is it is going to start printing from the second field till the end of the file. So what happens in this case is it is going to start printing from the second field till the last field of each and every line of that file. The next command we are going to discuss is the sort command. The sort command is used to sort the content of the file based on a particular order. So whenever we want to sort the content of the file in a specific order, either alphabetically or numerically, we can use the sort command. So let's see the syntax of the sort command. We can use the command sort followed by the file name. So this command is going to sort the content of the file based on the alphabetical order. When -r option is used in the sort command, the content of the file will be sorted in the reverse order. Whenever you have a numerical data in a file, and if you want to sort them according to a specific order, either ascending or descending, then we are going to use the sort with the -n option. So -n option is used when there is a numerical data in our file. So let us see how this command works. So for this example, I'm going to consider the file called wordlist.txt. So let us see what is the content of this file called wordlist.txt. So you can see here I have got some list of words in the file which are in the random order. So let's see how to use the sort command to filter this in the Let's see how to use the sort command to sort these words in the specific order. The output shows that the content of the file has been sorted according to the alphabetical order. Suppose if I want to sort in the reverse order, I can use the option -r. So sort followed by -r followed by word list sorts the content of the file in the reverse order. So this output is in the reverse alphabetical order. Whenever you want to sort the content of the file that has some numerical data, then we use the option -n. So for the purpose of practical demonstration, I'm going to create one file that has got some numerical data. So let us see how sort works on this file. Whenever we want to sort the content of the file that has some numerical data, then we are going to use the -n option. So for the purpose of practical demonstration, I have a file called numbers. So let me show you what is the content of this file called numbers. So as you can see here, we have got some random list of numbers in this. Suppose if I want to sort this according to the ascending order, I'll be using sort followed by -n followed by numbers. Now one thing you have to remember, when sort -n option is used, the numbers are by default sorted in the ascending order. Suppose if I want to display in the reverse order, that is in the descending order, then I am going to sort using -n followed by -r followed by numbers. So the output shows that the content of the file has been sorted in the descending order. Sometimes we want to sort the file based on the specific field in the file. So just like how we had extracted a specific field in the file by using the cut filter, we can use the sort command to sort the specific field of the file. So let us see how it is done. Now from this output, you can notice that the content of the file has been sorted based upon the first field of the file in the alphabetical order. So what this command does is, it is going to take the delimiter in the file, which is colon, and it is going to differentiate each and every field in the file by using the delimiter, and each and every column of the field is identified by using the option "-k". So this syntax looks very much similar to the syntax of cut filter, with the exception that in the place of "-d, we are going to use "-t", and in the place of "-f", we are going to use "-k". Suppose if you want to sort a specific field in the numerical order, we can use the "-n" option. So let us see the content of the file one more time. Now as you can notice here, the third field in this file is a numerical value. So suppose if you want to sort the content of the file based on the third field of this file, which is a numerical value, then we can use an option "-n". So let's see how it is done. Now from this output, you can see that the third field of the file has been sorted according to the numerical order. The next filter we are going to discuss is the unique filter. So this filter is used to filter the repeated lines in a file. So this command filter outs the adjacent matching lines from the input file and writes the filtered data to the output file. So the syntax of the unique filter is unique followed by the options followed by the input file. One thing what you have to remember about the unique filter is that the unique filter cannot detect the adjacent lines unless they are sorted. So it is necessary that the content of the file needs to be sorted before using the unique filter. So usually this command is piped with the output of the sort command. So let's see how it is done. Now for the purpose of practical demonstration, I'm going to consider the file which is called word list. So let me show you what is the content of this file. We can see here that we have got some list of words in this file. Now let us see how to filter the unique words from this particular file. As you can see here, after the file is being sorted, it is printing the unique words from the file. Now one thing to be noted here is that the uppercase and the lowercase words are considered separately, because they are unique by themselves. Now suppose when you want to ignore the case of the words whenever you are checking for the unique words, then we can use the option "-i". So it is going to ignore the case of the words whenever it's going to check the unique words. So as you can see from the output, the word filters is been displayed only once. The duplicate word has been removed from the list. Suppose if you want to get the count of all the words, we can use the command sort followed by word list followed by the unique command Here we can see the occurrences of each and every word in the file. So here the word directories occurs twice, the word filters occurs twice, and inode occurs twice. Suppose if you want to display only the duplicate words in the file, we can use the command sort word list piped with unique followed by -d. So it is going to print the repeated words in the file. Suppose if you want to get the count of all these repeated words, we can use the command sort word list pipe with unique followed by -d followed by c. So this output shows how many times that each of these words have been repeated in this file. Suppose if you want to get the count of all the unique words by ignoring their case, we can use the command sort followed by the word list followed by pipe it with unique -ic. So when you ignore the case of the words, the word filters is occurring thrice.
Next, we are going to see how to use the TR filter. TR stands for translate. TR is the command which is used for translating or deleting the characters from the input text file and gives the output on the standard output. It supports various other types of transformations, such as conversion from uppercase to lowercase, or vice versa, squeezing the repeated characters, deleting the specific characters, or performing the basic find and replace kind of operations. We can also perform complex type of operations by pipelining this command with other commands. So let us see the syntax of the translate filter. TR followed by the options followed by set1 space set2. Here set1 represents the set of characters or the pattern that need to be replaced, and set2 represents the set of patterns or characters that need to be replaced with. Now let's see how this command works in practical. One of the features of all the filters in Linux is that it not only can take input from the text file or from standard input, but also it can take the input through pipeline. So let's see how the input can be taken through pipeline. Now in this, for the practical demonstration, I'm going to take one of the file which we have created earlier. So I'm going to take the file called wordlist.txt. Now, using the TR filter, I'm going to translate all the lowercase characters to uppercase characters. Now from the output, you can notice that all the lowercase characters have been translated to uppercase. Now what we have done here is, we have taken the output of this command called cat followed by word list as an input for the translate filter. Here, A to Z represents the range of alphabets from A to Z which are in lowercase, and the second A to Z represents all the characters from A to Z or all the alphabets from A to Z which are in uppercase. So small a to z represents the characters to be replaced, and capital A to Z represents the characters to be replaced with. We can perform the same operation by using another method. Now in this syntax, we are using the output of the previous command, that is cat followed by word list, as an input for the tr command. Here, lower represents the list of all the lowercase characters and upper represents the list of all the uppercase characters. So all the lowercase characters would be replaced with uppercase. Now let's see how the same operation can be done in another method. Now let's see how the same operation can be done in another method. Now in this method, we are performing the same operation through input redirection. Now in this case, the input for this command would be taken from the file called wordlist.txt. Using tr filter, we can also perform the basic search and replace operation. So for this purpose, we are going to consider the file which we had created earlier. So let's consider the file logs.txt. First of all, let us see the content of logs.txt. Now in this file, let's see how to replace all the colons into some other character. As you can notice from the output, all the colon has been replaced with star or asterisk. Using translate filter, we can also shrink the repetitive sequence of characters into one seed. Using translate filter, we can shrink the repetitive sequence of characters into one. So let's see how it is done. For this purpose, let me create one simple file with some content. As you can see, I have given multiple spaces between the word welcome and to and Linux. So let's see how to shrink down to one single space. So from the output, as you can see, the multiple spaces has been shrunken down to single space. Let's see how tr can be used to delete a specific character or word from the file. From the output, you can see the character W has been removed from the first word. Similarly, multiple characters can also be deleted from the file. From the output, you can notice that the character W and L has been removed from the file. Now, the last filter we are going to discuss is the word count filter. The word count filter is used to count the total number of lines, words, and characters in a file. So let's see how this command is executed. The basic syntax of word count is WC followed by the name of the file. Now from the output, the 48 represents the total number of lines in the file, 106 represents the total number of words in the file, and 2625 represents the total number of characters in the file, and logs.txt is the name of the file. Suppose if you want to differentiate the total number of lines, words, and characters, we can use the different options. We can use word count followed by -l followed by the name of the file. So which gives the total number of lines in the file. Suppose if you want to count the total number of words in the file, we can use word count -w followed by the file name, which gives the total number of words in the file. Finally, word count -c will give us the total number of characters in the file. Just like other filters, word count can also be used as a pipeline command, as it can take the output of another command as an input. Now let us see how it is done. Now here, we are using the word count command to get the total count of files in this current working directory. So this ends the course on filters in Linux. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much.